welcome back. And yeah, where we left off is how I wanted things to be. I saw how I wanted my company to be and grow and how I'm going to achieve things. But then it also didn't go that way at all. To keep it real, we're going to jump around. So I'm not going to talk a lot about the first company, I don't think, but we'll just see where we end up. And thanks for being patient with me. But I need to talk about this because I think this is going to fit in real good. For, I would say, at least 16, 17 years, I would always tell myself, like, I want to find that thing that I can provide to my customers that's consistent. So as the entertainment broker, as we established before, like, I'd be very busy on all the holiday seasons and this and that. So I need another thing to make me more relevant, I thought, all the time. Yeah, so I was driving, right? I was doing a nice long drive, coming back to where I live and back to the office. And then it just hit me. Like, it's as if somebody jumped in my brain and says, this is what you need to do. And I was like, whoa, that's how I'm going to achieve it. This is what's going to be called. And I just knew, and I felt it like it was real, like it happened, like I've been there, I've done that. And I was just like, whoa. So I called my wife right away. I'm like, hey, honey, something just hit me. Check it out. And I just started, she's like, oh, here we go again. Because, I come up with a lot of ideas to be successful and make money, but it takes time to get to that one. And she's like, oh, now what is it? You want to do something different? You don't want to focus on the current, business? You're going to do this, do that? I was like, no. This is the company. This is where it's going. This is what's going to happen. This is how things are going to work out. And I felt it and saw it. And I was trying to explain it to her. She's like, we'll just talk about it when you get back tomorrow. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to do it. So I called a buddy of mine. I'm like, hey, this is a website. This is what I need you to do for me. Let's knock it out. And he's like, cool, but like, I don't want to, you should maybe look for another company or something that can knock it out quicker. And I was like, no, man, this is how it has to be done. It has to be done this way. You need to knock out something quick, easy. We'll start proving the concept and then it'll just grow from there. Like, trust me. Like, I was just so like motivated, like, I found it. I found a fountain of youth. I found the thing that's going to work and be successful. And I was like, oh, man, after all these years, I'm finally going to do the one thing. And that was it. I never went back to a real job since. I never thought about, I need a real job to back out, up till that point, right? I've been doing business for like 15 years at this point. And I'm like, no. And I always had a side gig, side hustle, like to make more, real money, right? And I was like, no, I'm done with that. This is it. This is it. And I just went with it. And I just trusted myself, trusted the flow, right? I surrendered to my higher self, to the universe, and I said, I'm going to do it. And that was it. And it started, everything worked out. I set it all up. And I was rolling. And I was like, okay, cool, right? Now I'm like, well, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm proving the concept. Peace out. And I went on vacation, and then our dreaded COVID hit. But you know what? Everything I set up was perfect timing, because people needed that service more than ever in the areas I was serving. And we just blew up. When I came back, after a couple months of vacation, because I needed to relax. I just came back, and then the company I was subcontracting part of the services of the idea to prove the concept, because I didn't want to invest in a huge warehouse or anything. And I know what you're saying. Hey, you felt it. You should have just went all in right away. Yeah, I should have, but I didn't. But everything worked out. I just trusted the flow, and I was like, don't worry. Hakuna Matata, everybody. That's my motto. I'm telling you, if you want a motto, this should be your motto. Hakuna Matata. No worries. Don't worry about nothing. Hakuna Matata. Just trust yourself. And once things need to be done, it needs to be done. And I came back, and the guy that I hired and subcontracted the concept to was like, hey, it's getting way too busy over here, buddy. I can't run my company, and I know you're subcontracting me to do this, and it's good money, but you're way too busy, and now we're getting very busy too with the pandemic. And I was like, done. And I just was like, okay, I'm going to look for a warehouse space and all that. And then I started looking where I think it should be. Then I was like, no, further. And then I just, you know what? I surrender. And then I found it. And then I pulled the trigger. Within 30 days of being back, I had the warehouse set up. I had everything going, flowing. And I guess the peak of the lockdowns here in Canada started. And then my company just blew up, where now I need to have a truck on the road constantly. We were shipping all over Canada and taking care of certain areas. And it was just great. And I know what you're thinking right now. Hey, how come you just didn't tell us the company name or tell us this, tell us that? Because I'm not here to promote that. And I'm not here to promote the businesses. I'm here to promote you and how I could help you, or I wish this is motivating you to achieve your goals. And I don't want it to be like, well, I'm just fluffing myself and, hey, look at what I did. Look at this. Look at that. Maybe one day I'll tell it to you. I don't know. But Mike, it'll make you more relevant if you tell me. I just feel like I'm just patting myself in the back if I tell you. And so, yeah, that's the way it is. So, yeah, I'm leaving it out on purpose. But I was 100% connected to my new self, right? And now I'm pre-programming myself for success and what I want. And I'm finally just doing it. I released having the real job and I'm focused and I just trusted everything. And I don't even know how to explain it to you. Like, my mind goes crazy with ideas all the time. And I was just like, no, I'm just trusting it, going with the flow. I don't know what's going to happen next. And I thought as we were setting everything up, I was talking with the web guy like, hey, this is how it's going to be, buddy. We're going to set it up this way. And it's going to be like this. And he's like, okay, cool. And then a few months later, I'm like, hey, that's not going to work. We have to change that because I'm going to lose customers fast because we're going to be way too expensive if we do it that way. We have to do it this way. And he's like, oh, why? And the concept was originally package in, package out. And that wasn't going to work because some people had multiple items and that we need to put it together, and it was cheaper to ship as one bigger box than a bunch of small boxes. So it wasn't package in, package out anymore. And then trust me, and if he's listening to this, the guy who does the website, yeah, I'm going to make fun of you right now. But it was total like, oh, it's going to make everything a lot harder, complicated. It's going to take longer to do. I said, I don't care, man. I trust you. Well, I said, I know everything will work out. Don't worry. And he's like, okay. I didn't force him to work for me, okay? But understandably, it's a big project to throw on somebody alone. And he, recently got married and have kids. And I'm just like, but I know you're the right fit. I feel it. I just know I need you to do this part and everything will be perfect. And sure enough, as the process went on for, now we're going on 3 years, we're still working and changing a lot of the concepts because I thought it was going to be one way. And then a month or so later, hey, we got to change it up again, buddy. And you just got to go with the flow. You have to. Because if you're going to be stuck in one way, you're not going to get there. So proof in the pudding, right? In Canada, a lot of you guys might recognize Sears. We had Sears catalogs. And they were great. They were amazing. They had pop-up locations all over where you order something from the catalog, you go to that place, you pick it up, and you bring it to your home. But now in the digital age, they're not so relevant in Canada, like the Sears catalogs. I'm not sure if they even have a Sears online.ca or anything, but yeah, I don't hear that name anymore. All the pop-up stores are gone. I don't even see a Sears store anymore. I haven't seen one in many years. So, hey, you have to change and go with the flow. And the direction where you're going to end up might be totally different from what you put down in your 5-year plan. But when you get there, you'll be like, And the last thing I should say is when you think you get there, start over because you're never there. There's always work to be done and things that need to be done. And for me, I've been procrastinating. I know I mentioned this in a few episodes, but I just want to put it again. I've been always trying to, self-sabotage myself, or I'm making up excuses why I can't, do this. But I've been thinking about life changers for a few years, And I've even talked with people, helped them through when I used to just talk with them. They're like, hey, you should make a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, I should. No, I'm going to call it Life Changers. I have a logo. And years later, I still haven't done it. So now I'm just doing it, and I'm just going to put it out there. So now you got to put yourself out there and just finally do it. Do what you thought of. Put it in play, because there's always a tomorrow. But now is now. And before you know it, there'll be, 10 years went by and I didn't do nothing. I'm still at square one. You have the idea, or it comes to you like a ton of bricks hits you. Feel it, channel it, write it down, and do it. And that will change your life.